Welcome to episode 429 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And I'm Glenn.
Hang on, fellas. Feels like I just saw you yesterday, Glenny.
Well, you fucking did.
Yeah. Hey, don't you take that tone with me. You had a great fucking time and we got along we got along and there wasn't a crossword fucking spoke between us.
Did you actually see him? Or did you see an empty fucking hollow husk of a man?
No, Nathan's not a hollow husk of a man. He was there to watch his team and enjoy himself.
Yeah, and
Why
so
are you going to be like that?
And so were you, Glenn, and you did.
I did.
Got to watch the mighty West Tigers take out the illegitimate Joy Trophy for 2021 with an aggregate scoreline of 42 points to 36, and it was beautifully done. And you love to see a tight home and away tournament across the season, unlike the outdoor
Trent Barrett Cup.
Trent Barrett Cup, which turned out to be like 102 to fucking 18 or something on aggregate. But we may as well talk about it. I love the afternoon. I'll tell you, that's the second time. That's the first time I've been to watch rugby league at Redcliffe. Second time I've been there overall, and look, they need to up the capacity on that stadium, but otherwise everything else is just, it's like fucking great.
Yeah.
Leagues
Club
place.
Is good. I think it has the potential if they get in. And this is going to sound like a massive statement, but there is the potential there, given the Leagues Club and the Leagues Club's proximity, with not a massive injection of cash in this whole scheme of things, for them to be pretty quickly like a mini Penrith. Not on the same scale as Panthers, but that club, it's well done.
Yeah.
And the proximity to the ground and the way, the viewing area on that deck, those couple of decks.
Yeah, the proximity to the ground, you can catch a conversion.
You can.
From the fucking beer garden.
Not that many people did.
Although we didn't see any catches actually successfully made on the afternoon.
No, people were more likely to catch it with their fucking face.
Here's an interesting thing. I wonder, because I've never actually had a deep dive into it, like every club gets the same amount of money from the NRL for its salary cap,
Yep.
and operations. Right?
Yep.
Do the NRL take ticket revenue and then bleed it down? Do they take a whack of ticket revenue, or does all of that go to the club?
Excellent question.
Yeah, that part of it. Well, I mean, there's obviously a certain amount of that ticket revenue goes towards whatever situation they have in terms of the company that owns the management rights to the ground itself.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But what percent? What does the NRL have to gain?
That? I think they I'm not sure if it's ticket thing. I think they have to. The clubs have to pay like a licensing fee just for the for the use of the logo and because the NRL owns all of the IP for the.
You would assume that's part of the agreement with the NRL though.
Yeah,
to hold the license means you can use that IP.
Yeah. But I just wonder what the if there's any actual cut per.
And what I'm getting to by this is with this bid, whether the commission are looking at it and going, ticks all the boxes, great Leagues Club, fantastic location, looks spectacular.
Yeah.
On TV.
Yeah.
It's probably like a fucking Wollongong, in terms of like that looks amazing when the grass is green, you got the ocean behind it. It's fucking fantastic. But is that, well, we've got our own stadium, but it can only give you this kickback, as opposed to the fire cunts who go, oh, we'll play every game out of Suncorp, cause.
Yeah. Apparently that whole fire cunt thing has come about because the NRL told them individually, the Jets and the Firehawks individual consortiums, that individually you've got fucking nothing on the Dolphins bid. Like, so the only way they could actually make themselves a legitimate competitor to the bid was to join to pool their forces together.
Isn't that collusion?
Well, I mean,
insider trading.
I don't think you understand how insider trading works.
Because it's not the stock market.
You get where I'm coming from without you guys being.
Oh, that's just business, isn't it? I mean, they want to give themselves every advantage to.
It's also the old boys club sort of attitude that rugby league is.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. In business, you take every opportunity to try and find out what other bids are and what you're up against and what you need to do to win tenders. But, whether you get told or not is another story. And then to my mind, the person that always comes out and says, look, only because I like you, I'm going to tell you this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
Instantly loses all fucking credibility with me. And it may just be that I'm fucking charming and,
Nope.
charismatic.
Nope.
But why?
Sorry.
Why
I thought these were trivia questions. Is there an online form I can fill out?
No, if that was a question...
What else you fucking got?
If that was a question, I would have said, am I?
Because if you feel like you're getting by on fucking charm and good looks, ooh, sweet baby Jesus.
Well, how have I come this far with no discernible talent whatsoever?
I don't know.
It's not
Don't get me
charisma
wrong.
and
I
good
ask
looks.
myself that question every fucking week, twice a week. But here we are.
And I tell you, the old Redcliffe ground too. I mean, I guess it's all obviously seasonal depending on what time of the year, but it actually has a legitimate home field advantage there. We saw in the Manly game and twice in the Penrith game where if you drop a kickoff down into that little hole just over the just at the right time of day, just over the 20-metre line.
There's like a 15-metre radius.
There's this little black hole where the sun just comes straight through over the top of the stand as it's setting. So you got to, if you're playing like a 4:00 game, you get that from 3:30 to 4:30. There's this window there where the sun is just directly there and leaves this little blind spot of white, which we saw happen a couple of times to both of you guys in the second game and Manly at the end of the first game. But yeah, no, it was great.
The NRL moves on from CTE to burnt out corneas.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was great, and it's like there's. Obviously, things would change. They'd have to probably, with the grandstands, they'd have to sort of build the corners out, just to add more capacity. Just so put corners in, bridging the stands together, just because they could add another, probably 5,000, pretty easily if they did that. Build out one of the long stands as well, like add an extra level to it. But overall, definitely not a.
They've got the space though to do that.
They've got tons.
Without massive redevelopment, like it's.
Well, on that short end that's opposite the leagues here, they could build an entirely brand new fucking stand there and like crazy amount, because just all the other thing that's behind there is just empty land and car parking.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Speaking of car parks,
yes,
look, I've been waiting with bated breath for your car park tales. Tales from car park town.
Who's going who's going first?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go?
Go for it, Glennie.
So
mine's not that interesting or a long story.
We've enjoyed our day. Well, I had a fantastic time. Jackson and I drove down in the morning. We got there, parked the car.
Midday,
yeah, just on midday. Went and had lunch at the Leagues Club and walked around, checked it out, and then met up with Nate and made our way in for a glorious afternoon of football. It was lovely. And
you got yourself a new Tigers shirt.
Got myself a new polo. Yeah. And finished up. It was a bit Toowoomba-ish by the time full time in the Tigers Penrith game blew, and
meaning it was a bit cold.
Yeah, it was a bit cool.
It was a bit chilly. Yeah,
it was a bit cool.
Oh, I thought you meant you were on meth.
No.
You were selling tractors to people.
Yeah. my neck started to go a bit red. The makeup was starting to wear off.
So I use the N-word with a hard R and I fuck my cousin.
That's fucking perfect. So, as I typically want to do, I needed to go to the bathroom, and Jackson was like, "Oh, couldn't you give me the keys to the car? I'm going to go sit in the car because I don't want to have to wait around for you to go to the toilet again."
Dick.
Yeah, because it was cold. That's part of the reason why I told you it was cold, because it took me a little while.
Fucking hell. Fucking millennials.
Don't you start. Do not ever enter into a conversation with my son about road trips with me.
If I'd have said that to my dad, going, oh, I'm cold, he would have dragged me in, thrown me in the urinal and pissed on me and gone, "You're warm now?" Fuck.
Look, to say that I aim to have a better relationship with my son than your father does with you is a fair understatement.
Look, just don't go to Scientology. You'll be sweet.
Fair.
So the body things that made him do that.
So I'm making my way over to the bathroom, and in the end, I was pretty glad that Jackson made his way to the car, because a fairly sizable domestic dispute unfolded before my very eyes. And there was a couple with a very young baby. You know, we're probably talking somewhere between 3 and 6 months old involved, which is never, and it brought back some pretty fucking painful memories for me, to be quite honest. But anyway, old mate had something to say to his. I don't know. I didn't quiz them as to the current relationship status, so I'm going to assume it's his current missus or ex-missus. I'm not sure. And she has proper detonated at him, and I knew that they were together because they were both wearing Penrith jerseys, to the surprise of absolutely fucking no one. Because, you know, people from Campbelltown in the western suburbs wouldn't behave in such a manner. And she has fucking...
They do their arguing with their fucking fists.
Yeah.
They don't start at words.
Look, to be honest, this wasn't a West Tigers fight because no one was stabbed. So she has launched into him, and obviously a game of football with several thousand people in attendance has just finished. So there's a fuckload of people around. And there was zero fucks given from either of these parties as to how many people they were screaming at each other at the top of their lungs at. And she's then run over and snatched the child out of his arms, and he's telling her to shut the fuck up, and she's like screaming. I'm just like, fuck me dead for a Sunday night. This is a bit of excitement. And look, in the end, I didn't see the end of it because, as I said, I had to piss. So my priorities led me off to the bathroom, and it petered out.
You could have hosed them off and settled things down a bit.
Look, I'm not sure that me walking into the midst of that dispute and pissing on them was going to fucking help at all, if I'm honest.
You're not R. Kelly after all.
You could have been the force that united two quarrelling lovers.
Yeah, by them both stabbing me because I pissed on them.
Or, how do you know they didn't have a water sports fantasy and would have invited you back home?
Oh, fucking Jesus. Jackson's in the car going, Dad, where are you?
He could have sat on the couch, watched the Wiggles with the baby.
You've got the solution played out. It's like this has happened to you before.
In some alternate universe, it did.
Yeah. So this is like a session of show and tell.
Isn't it?
And yeah, Stepdad's not trying to show us anything, but he's telling us everything.
In some alternate universe, Glenn's there singing the Coddy's Cordial theme.
Fuck me. So anyway, Nathan, something unfolded after we parted ways. I went left, you went right.
Yeah. So we went the other way, and up ahead in the car parks, for the opposite direction to the way you went, I could just hear this. You just get in a fucking car in front of you. Just probably what you heard as well. Except it was it was a separate and equally Penrith supporting group of people. And I'll tell you, the mother was she was so Penrith it hurt. I mean, she had like an Echo shoulder bag, and I'm sure she pulled a jug cord out of it. And then. We 10 minutes later, we're at the car, so I sort of parked a little bit out of the way so we could get out of the rush of people, easily. And my missus is like, what's the deal with Penrith supporters? I'm like, I don't know what are you talking about? Like,
been trying to fucking work it out for a while now.
It's like there's Jay, that's Jay's thing. She goes, because her interest in football is very low. I mean, she spent most of the afternoon people watching at the stadium. She's like, they are by far the worst fucking fans I've ever seen in my life. I was like, well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, there was that guy in that retro jersey that we had a discussion with.
He was lovely.
Yeah. But then there was that other guy between that guy and us, where he offered some banana bread to his friend next to him, and he politely declined. He said, "Fucking eat it, cunt." So,
and I said, "That's the most aggressive offering of banana bread I've ever heard."
And then he goes, "You want some?"
I was like, "Fuck no, I don't want it."
No.
What if it tastes like shit?
Though. Here's the thing: what you're failing to realise is...
Ain't no banana bread in real Penrith.
See, Redcliffe is like Mecca to Panthers supporters. Now, have you ever known a religious person that's been to Mecca?
No.
They say...
But it's the best analogy ever.
They say that it is undeniably the strangest juxtaposition of things that are a complete paradise with a spiritual peace and natural beauty that one can only imagine, but yet somehow being intimately familiar as if they've lived their entire life there. And you've just described Penrith fans gathering in Redcliffe.
Oh, fuck.
I'll tell you what, though, with the exception of the aforementioned guy that had that jersey, when did he say he got it? It was like
It's late 70s or something.
Late 70s. Like it was an original
best and less
unsponsorship
Oh,
brown.
really?
Yeah, it was chocolate soldiers without
Penrith City
sponsorship.
on it?
Without sponsorship, just blank with the
wow.
badges, like the best and less unsponsored one, original though, from like original back in the day. So
I had to ask him.
apart from that,
I was that curious.
pretty much every other Penrith jersey I saw was fucking had the collars, had the tags still hanging off it.
Yeah, you know why?
Redcliffe.
Bandwagons.
Well, Penrith Mecca. It's now Pekka Stadium. But,
Yeah, it's Beckett
Dude,
Stadium.
and, man, it was smart. It was one of the Gus initiatives. Penrith were the first ones to get on the afterpay style shit for the memberships. Right? So you could get on, and I think they do it on merch too, where you can essentially pay your jersey off over 10 weeks.
Had to order. I ordered $28 worth of new bands for my Fitbit online, and it said, or you can order via Afterpay for fucking so many payments of like $6. It's like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Afterpay is great for retail. It's not such a great business for themselves because, I mean, they're assuming the debt of people who can't afford fucking cheap stuff in the first place. But,
Afterpay,
I mean,
not to turn us into, this week in stonks, but
yeah,
look at Afterpay and ZipPay. Neither of them are making money. They're one of those beautiful
800 million
fintechs.
loss.
Yeah, fuck me.
Yep.
Anyway,
that was our Sunday. Partially. Let's get into the results though. And we kicked off on Thursday night up Sunshine Coast with the Knights 15 defeating the Titans 14 in an epic struggle for lower table presence. The Knights' tries came through Ponga and Pearce. Clifford 2 conversions and a penalty goal, with Mitchell Pearce getting the decisive field goal. The Titans 14 tries to Sammy and David Fafita. Fogarty 1 conversion, 2 penalty goals.
I think the Knights are going to cause their opponents some headaches in finals week 1. Their mix of experience through obviously Mitchell Pearce, the unpredictability of Ponga behind that forward pack is going to be dangerous, and I think they're growing in a bit of confidence now. They can, that bit of an all or nothing to lose sort of mentality. I don't expect them to go deep in the finals. Obviously, the class disparity between the top 4 and the bottom half of the 8 is vast, but I thought they handled this game and the pressure towards the end to ice it really well. And Mitchell Pearce proved again that he's an exceptional club footballer, and it's probably where his career should have really been played out. I think he'd be viewed in a very different light if he was a guy that just played his entire career in clubland and never entered the Origin arena.
correct.
Yeah, so if the finals were played today, the Knights would be looking at a game against the Roosters, however, which is great, for the Mitchell Pearce narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
However, I think that probably based on the games this weekend, I think the Roosters will probably get up.
And we ladder predicting.
And the Eels will get wiped out, which will split those. I mean, Newcastle are 7th regardless. I think the Roosters and the Eels will switch places over the next week, and we'll probably find them facing off the Eels in round 1. So when you're saying that you think that they're finding some confidence and Foreman can do something in the finals, does it stop right? Does it stop right there at the Roosters or the Eels?
I think the Roosters would roll them. But I know Para, and we'll get to Para's performance this round, but I want to see more from Para to think it's more than a flash in the pan, to be quite honest. So Mitchell Moses on a big stage is never someone you want to bank on. So credit to the Titans in this game also, who dug right in until the death. And I said it before the other week that they'll be better for the experience of this season and another off-season together under Holbrook. And, they seem to have, in my opinion, quite a number of the right pieces. And Holbrook, I actually think he's a good coach. I think they'll benefit from this year and be better next.
Yeah, looking at the stat sheet, if I'm the Titans, I am extremely disappointed that we didn't find a way to ice that game. They beat the Knights in all major stat categories, in run meters, in post-contact meters. The line breaks were 5-2, kick return meters. Everything they did was better. They had fewer missed tackles. It was an absolutely dominant performance on the stat sheet by the Titans.
The thing is, when
5 errors to 11.
But Glenn was blowing the Knights, and it's all coming together, etc. But I feel like the only thing that the Knights did better in this entire game was honestly just like Mitchell Pearce at the end of the game getting into the position where he could take the decisive field goal. And even that, remember, was off a set when they received an additional set because the Titans actually blocked one and turned into a charge down, which the Knights recovered and then had another set to go at them from reasonable range. At which point then they just trundled it up real close. So it's fucked how those things can work against you. I mean, the odds of blocking a field goal are fairly low, especially with this day and age. How they can just leave players littering the. Well, apparently by the rules you can't leave players littering the ruck anymore to try and make it difficult for runners to get through. But the Knights still had two of them standing right there guarding it. So
the Titans, I think, are missing leadership, and be that Glenn. And I'm not saying Holbrook isn't a good coach, but be that the message or the plan from the coach, giving them enough confidence to go out there and execute, or be it somebody on the field who's going to take control. They need some stability in their halves and spine, and they need somebody in their forward pack to stand up and be the fucking leader.
Preferably the one that they're paying, 7 figures.
You know what though?
Who's also still 21?
Yeah.
22?
Yes.
I don't need him. That's it. I don't need him to be the leader because of his age. They're the team that needs a James Tamau.
Or a fucking Ryan James.
Imagine. Can you imagine?
Funny that. Socials on that one. Joshua in the Facebook group said, I watched a dwarf set a world record in the 200-metre individual medley only an hour or so ago. I don't see this game reaching those dizzying heights. Shout out to all our wonderful fucking Paralympians. I don't know if you saw the Facebook post, but I used it with the kids today. If they ever whinge or say life's not fair or get crabby about something, I now have a picture in my phone of a cunt with no arms playing ping pong.
Yeah. Who serves the ball with his foot and a bat in his mouth.
That's it. So, Alistair said, I assume the 20 years on the Knights collar is for the anniversary year of the 01 grand final. Did it not occur to them that's celebrating 20 years of being shit? Noughts sums up the Titans' seasons. No guts, no direction, no defence. Piss poor attack for the majority of matches. No why. Oh, you got to find your why. Isaac said a lot to be positive about if you're a Titans fan. Fogarty's kicking game, Campbell, if he puts on 10 kilos, and Fafita if he's handled properly. I get that you are trying to light a candle and not curse the darkness there, my friend. But fuck, that's a lot of ifs to light candles. Hammers said, not sure this is our year, to be honest. Elvie on Twitter said, thank fuck that shit show didn't go to Golden Point. My God, what a train wreck. We have a few injuries, but no excuse for our performances last few weeks. You have no direction at all in attack, lots of work to do at training. Still 5 in a row is rarely a bad thing. That's it, in the scheme of things. You know, you take them where you get them. And at ColtSando78 on Twitter, said there was a lot at stake tonight and we simply blew it. To be honest, we were not good enough all year. Sums it up nicely.
Next up, Friday night, early game. The Canberra Raiders 28 defeat the Warriors 16 to keep their hopes alive and I guess extinguish the Warriors' hopes. The Raiders tries through Nickel Klukstar, Rapana, double to Seb Chris, Hudson Young with a try as well. Rapana 4 or 5 conversions. The Warriors 16 tries to O'Sullivan, Berry, and DWZ. Reece Walsh 2 conversions. And I should say, neglected to say, with this Knights and Titans situation, it hasn't killed the Titans off yet. There is still definitely a scenario where they actually, I'm not going to say we'll talk about it on Wednesday more. I wouldn't say I favour them to get through, but I think they've got they're pretty good chance as far as the 3 teams that are in contention going into the last round. But in this case, the Raiders.
It looked like the Freighters had shown up again. The Warriors ran out to a lead and looked pretty good, but the Raiders gathered themselves and put together a pretty impressive comeback in the end. I think the Warriors were impacted fairly significantly by Chad Townsend getting hurt. He tried to play on with a busted shoulder and he was definitely no good, and that they kind of lost their way and couldn't stop the flow of points.
Kind of the first time in the season.
Real direction.
It was the first time in the season where a team has actually gotten worse when Chad Townsend hasn't been on the field.
Yeah, I'd agree. But they were noticeably worse and lacked direction. And just his kicking game, if anything, just to try and kick him out of trouble when the Raiders were finishing over the top of him. I think that could have changed the result potentially, but he was in a hell of a lot of pain coming off the field.
Mm.
I don't have much to add to this game. To be honest, I'm struggling to remember moments from it. And it was only a couple of days ago. I'll tell you, I'm hopeless.
The Raiders, for the most part, seem to have cohesion. At this point of the season, you could forgive them for being out of sync with each other, or especially with some positional changes and players coming in and out. But for the most part, they seem to be putting the effort in. I'm not sure what that means for them going on. I don't know how much changes for them next year that improves this situation. But again, it sort of sums up the year that a couple of years back they were a grand finalist, and now they're languishing out of the 8 with 1 week to go. So
back to their standard, like default position of the last sort of 20 years, I guess.
Yeah, that's
which
it.
is competing in that bracket of like sort of 10th to 6th sort of bracket. Yeah. But no, look, they're playing okay at the moment. Chance is getting better. Like he was far better this week than he was last week, and presumably if they're given more games in their season.
I don't know whether it's because they're too Ricky's done too good a job of, yes, we're all in this together, us versus them, yada yada. Do they accept complacency now? Has he done too well in bringing them all together that it's impossible to blame anyone for a shit performance? Because Nickel Klukstar just seems to me to be the only one with any sort of spark or energy, and normally you see that in a team, at least some of the others go with him. But he seems to be a man alone in the effort he's putting in.
Well, I mean, you have to say that Rapin is like he's putting in massively over. I mean, he's almost played a lone hand while Chance is out.
Yeah.
Well, I think the NRL's got a good read on Jack Whiten now, and I don't know that he has the game or the skill set to evolve that further to then kick on and bring some more out of his kit bag.
Yeah.
He's a Dally M winner.
Yeah.
But his game's built on, power running and structure that the Raiders have sort of created for him in that environment. But
again, it's the same with with South Sydney. The success of your 6 is in your 7. You put Jack Whiten in a team with a professional game manager like Adam Reynolds and an outside back unit like Dylan Walker's got Cody Walker's got at Souths. And he's a Dally M winner almost every year. But he's got no one around him, and he's not the sort of 6 to take on the big moment plays for himself. All he does is fucking put grubbers in that go dead and give away 7 tackles.
So was his...
He did have a fair side around him, though, in the State of Origin Game 3, though.
Yeah.
Which he said, like, the thing is, I know what you're saying about his game.
6 is in your 7. Who was his 7?
Yeah, but you're talking about the outside backs and everything he had around him in the forwards. I mean, he had almost everything he needed.
So was his success in winning the Dally M, did that come from Josh Hodgson then? From the hooking position? Because what did he get out of the 7 that he was playing with?
Oh, look, that was a charmed year for Canberra.
I think it's not just the fact that he's been figured out. I think that even what he has brought to the table this year is not nearly as good as he's even been. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's it. Jason in the Facebook group said, I was asked yesterday if my Raiders were the secretly shit team of 2021. I very confidently said, no, they're not. Now I'm not saying they're shit. They're not shit. But I'm extremely confident it's not a secret. That is correct. Aaron. Josh Handbrake Jidson rolls right off the tongue. Hamish. Corey Horsburgh must have some dollars on the Warriors to win. Fuck that cunt. Mark.
He had another one of those pointy cry moments too in the game. Did you see?
You know what I want? I want to post. You know how we always talk about it? We want the fastest man in rugby league race and the obstacle course or whatever.
Yep.
I want him and Hetherington in a boxing match, just a bare knuckles brawl.
Jesus.
But give each of them 10 minutes to insult the other one first.
Well, I think that's more. I don't think you make it a physical thing to start with. I think what you actually start with is they're not allowed to swing, and you just got to start with. They've just got to start saying. They just got to just start giving each other shit. And I think the person to lose their head first is the loser of the contest, but also the winner of the shortest fuse award.
Or they each start with $100,000 to be donated for charity, and each time they swing, they lose 10 grand.
Yeah.
Sorry, orphans. Finally, Mupp on Twitter said Warriors versus Raiders was traditionally the easiest time to get read out on this week in league. Probably still is.
As evidenced by the fact you were just read out.
That's it.
The Rabbitohs 54 to feed the Roosters 12 in the late game on Friday night football. Spicy one with hat tricks to Alex Johnston, a double to Mark Nichols, a double to Latrell Mitchell, a double to Jackson Paulo. Reynolds 6 conversions and a penalty goal. Latrell with 2 conversions. The Roosters 12 tries to Joey Manu and Sam Verrills. Takeaho with a conversion and Sam Walker with a conversion. Spicy one, fellas.
Wasn't it?
Tell you what, all spice aside, nothing Latrell Mitchell did, nothing the absence of Joey Manu did, nothing that any of the other shit that went on with the bunker in this game was the cause of Mark Nichols scoring a double.
So and the softest double in the history of rugby league.
If it was like just exact duplicates of the try, and the goal line defense was traditionally fine for the Roosters, but no. Not that night. And I would love to know how much if anyone in the world got on him for 2+ tries.
Fuck.
And no, because
you'll never know because they now live
still in business.
Yeah, you'll never know because they now live in the fucking Bahamas.
I know. I do know a lot of people on Twitter that actually would go him for 1 try because they fucking love him and it's almost like a joke.
Yeah,
to put money on him to score a try, so they're cheering obviously, but yeah.
Look, I think as far as the football element of the game, it came down.
The football element first, and then go into the spiciness.
The Rabbitohs, as Jay mentioned earlier, game management of Adam Reynolds in tandem with the absolute sublime skill of their outside backs and Cody Walker. I think the Rabbitohs took control of the game pretty early on and held on to that advantage of possession and field position and just consistently turned it into points.
And there was a good passage there for the Roosters where they were fighting back sort of early in the second half, but once they overcame that hump, then it was just an absolute avalanche.
It was. Yeah. I think this is one of the true rivalries left in the game. Didn't disappoint. There was a hell of a lot of feeling, even in the opening exchanges before all hell broke loose, and it got pretty fucking ordinary in different patches of the game.
Mm. Is it time to talk about the Latrell incident?
Sure.
Yeah, I think so.
And obviously, for those who don't realise, Latrell Mitchell has accepted a 6-week suspension arising from an incident where the Roosters were sending the ball out to the right. Latrell put his body on the line to try and cut it off as it hit Manu. And it all went wrong, and Manu ended up with a fractured cheekbone, and it looked more like something you'd see in the UFC. I mean, the level of damage that he sustained.
Yeah. Did you see the footage where he blocked his nose? Have you ever seen that before?
Yes. Yeah, and the thing, because when that happens, when you get a broken orbital or a broken cheekbone, the impulse is to blow your nose because it feels like it's blocked up. But the thing is, when you see in the UFC when it happens, the corner people are saying, "Don't blow your nose, don't blow your nose, don't," because if you blow your nose, it instantly the whole thing just fucking inflates. And so, Manu didn't have that same advice.
No,
so did blow his nose and then instantly ballooned out. But there's a number of pieces to this, and it if any good comes out of this, it may see the end in the back of Henry Perinara, who had to stop being an on-field referee due to some sort of heart condition, and he's since been plying his trade, or thieving a living if you prefer, in the bunker, and he was the one that basically let this shit go straight through to the keeper. And had it not been even the commentary missed it. So let's be honest. At the time, it wasn't something that was so blatantly obvious. However, the bunker's job, as we've seen through the last half of the season, the bunker's job is obviously going back through everything that happens and then coming back and putting guys on report retrospectively. But this one, Manu was on the ground from the time it happened. Didn't really get. I mean, there was enough there that certainly warranted closer inspection. And the fact it took Manu to actually get up and sort of, confront Mitchell and have some things like that to make them have a better look at it and actually see what the fuck was going on. Yeah, it was just outrageous. And then the second part of that should have been a send off. Clearly, imagine half of that force and height would have been a send off. In Magic Round. Like half of it, and then a
third,
it's crazy.
Swinging arms, lazy arms were sent off to Magic Round.
Guys actually getting 10 minutes for accidentally slapping a guy in the chops, with no real force, So the punishment on field was terrible. I mean, there's a small measure of okay, he did get a sin bin, which is something, I suppose. But just officiating wise, not a happy time for Perinara in the box, and I think it was Klein on the field as well, who I wouldn't say he lost control of the game, but
he did in a couple of patches for sure.
He was just fucking weak, and I mean there were times there as well, like when he sin-binned Gay Guy later on in the game, and Gay Guy's just just sort of his face going, you fucking kidding me, cunt, that sort of shit was suspension worthy back in the fucking 90s. Saying that shit to the referee,
Steve Roach got how many weeks for patting someone on the head?
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty solid pat that he put on Eddie. I mean, he wasn't he was, he fucking deserved it. He's been a cunt.
Imagine being up in the face of Bill Harrigan.
Yeah.
Instant. Just instant.
Yep. Yep.
My issues with Latrell, and don't get me wrong, I have loved watching his come to power in the fullback role.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of people that doubted that he could do it. He'd come from a team with the then premier fullback in the competition.
Yep.
Dylan Edwards wasn't a factor in the competition then.
Oh, we'll fucking get to that.
We'll get to that, yeah.
The winning Dylan Edwards. But the thing that worries me about Latrell is you need your star players, and he is the star player in a team full of superstars. You need them to have a much better grasp of situational awareness. As in, for him to be flying out of the line like that, when he's playing at fullback, that close to the line, looking to put a shot on with that amount of force, there was no need for that. His team wasn't under pressure. The game was well and truly wrapped up. They had a comfortable enough lead that they just had to go through the motions and make smart choices and run out with it. And so for him to do that shows a complete lack of understanding of the flow of a game, of the requirements of an 80-minute game. And it's great that he's got that intensity and he wants to raise his mates or whatever it is. Fantastic. But a stupid time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be able to expect better from a leader of the club. And all he's done now is severely hamstring them for the rest of their campaign.
He's fucked them. They can't win the comp without him.
Yeah.
They cannot win the comp without him.
So,
and then the other side, then we compare and contrast a week earlier with the incident where Corey Harry and I hit Jerome Hughes. The second it happens, he's like, "Fuck, sorry," and he's like apologising to the huddle of the teammates as he's walking off the field after being sent off, and then after the game he's on Instagram tagging him and apologising, showing contrition and everything, whereas there was nothing but petulance from Latrell on field. Nothing indicating there was nothing indicating remorse or anything, or even concern for that matter, at any point during the rest of the game. And then crickets afterwards, after the game as well. He was liking Instagram. He was liking Instagram pictures from teenage girls' Instagram accounts 5 minutes after full time. But he wasn't fucking typing out an apology, or any kind of semblance of remorse. And
there was a report that he was trying to get into the rooms to check on Manu, and that's where the incident with letters kicked in.
But also Manu was at the fucking hospital. Of course, at that point anyway. Yeah.
And the other thing is, even to the stage where Manu was at Latrell, and you can see him on the coverage.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you do that for?
Yeah. Like his face was just like what the fuck?
Like Josh Mansour looked at him and said, "Damn, his face is fucked up."
But he was like, he wasn't like going in there trying to start a fight. He was all in there like I thought we were fucking boys, Yeah. What the fuck, man?
Because essentially it was, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And not even that snapped him out.
No.
Now, I don't want to turn this into a Latrell bashing session, and not only in his NRL career, but also in his day-to-day life, growing up in the situations he had with the fucking oppression, and let's not mince words, it's oppression of, Indigenous members of our community. You can forgive Latrell for having a me versus the world mentality.
Oh, for sure.
But from a pure rugby league standpoint, I think Wayne Bennett has missed it a little bit with that.
Yeah, look, and like the actual incidents. I mean, the tackle was fucking terrible, and the results were incredibly destructive. But I don't even have that much of an issue with what's going through his mind at the time that makes him shoot up. Because I mean, you've got to remember the period of the game. It wasn't over. It was 24-12, and the Roosters were
over.
It wasn't over. The Roosters were coming on strong, multiple sets against them, and they're 24-12 after they clawed their way back to get to 24-12, and they were looking at 24-18. The game wasn't over until after Latrell got binned, and then the Rabbits on their next set went down, and they scored a try while they were short-handed to take it out to 30-12, and that was the point at which the game was probably over as a contest. But I mean, at the time, that was one of the only times in the game where it actually was game on. In that passage of the game, so as far as he's thinking of got to get up there and shut the play down quickly, you don't do it by cannonballing yourself with your shoulder fucking leading at the player. I mean, usually guys go with both arms because they're trying to hit the guy ball and all and stop the quick pass going out to the winger or whatever. So his execution was I think the idea was right. The execution was fucking like careless and like fucking hopeless, frankly, and the result was predictably destructive, yeah. So, but then for me, it's like just the lack of like, just the obliviousness to the ramifications for his team, for his friend who he's played through his entire football career with, from young age, all that sort of thing. All of that obliviousness. That's the stuff that doesn't sit well with me.
And again, in the spirit of fairness, potentially being able to play devil's advocate. It may very well be that it was the severity of it that did that to him, as in it was almost a deer in the headlights sort of reaction. As in, fuck, I don't know how to react to this. Swagger. Who knows? But
who knows?
It definitely wasn't a good look.
I will say though that there's a challenge ahead of him, and it's something that he can certainly. I think this could potentially be another turning point in Latrell's career. And if he channels the emotion and the scrutiny and the criticism and all the rest that's come of this incident, and the fact that he's now been ruled out of a finals campaign and severely impacted his team, and I'm sure Bennett, between the two of them, he won't mince his words in that when he has those conversations, if he hasn't already. But if he channels that emotion in the right way and takes his game to another level next year, given how good he's been this year, it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
I think the only way that he takes his game to another level is with his fitness. And I'm not saying that he's unfit at the moment.
Oh, I think he could definitely be fitter.
But, yeah.
He could be, but I mean, fuck me. I mean, like the level he's playing at now.
Yeah. But can you imagine he comes back like round one next year, just like, Brad Pitt in Snatch. Just fucking shredded.
Well, that would probably take a little bit away from his game, because I do think he benefits from having a little bit of, like size. I mean, I don't think being a wiry fucking lightweight pikey boxer is going to help him too much. But I mean, if he come back, just like a couple of kilos lighter though, it would be yeah, exactly. Well, he's got time to work on it, hasn't he?
Anything else you want to say about that?
No.
I don't think so, no.
Successfully ended the campaign of two clubs, if there was one for the Roosters.
Yeah, I mean the Roosters are. I think it's just a big tick that they've fought as hard as they have for so long, considering the absolutely insurmountable injury toll. And
that's it.
And look, I mean, and the thing is, the way they finish, they potentially get to week 2 of the finals is a pretty fucking good result, I think, given what they've had to endure. I mean, finals is a good result. And then getting to week 2, just given the, by virtue of the weakness of who's coming in 7th and 8th, I mean, if they could probably get through to week 2 anyway. So
look at the West Tigers. They've had Luke Brooks all year.
Yeah,
Liam in the Facebook group.
They barely got to week 2 of fucking Tiger Town.
He said, I've always been a big advocate of Latrell, but I think he might actually be a dick. His shit players only let his teammates down. Panthers will be playing a week in South's first week of the finals. Bethany says, Klein has lost control. Gay Guy was right to give him a spray. Also, Latrell is the biggest grub in the game, bar none. which is interesting because that means that Bethany has not watched her team play this entire season.
I was going to say, there's at least one guy who's got more grub in their game.
That's
in
it.
The Storm side than Latrell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Latrell hasn't done himself favours this year, though, because he had that game against the West Tigers earlier. Like, he's had a couple of games where he's been fairly loose.
Yeah.
He was trying to pull his boot out. If fucking whoever it was hadn't grabbed his boot, he wouldn't have had to pull it out.
Try and pull your dick out of him. How about that?
Ryan said, as a South fan, Latrell should have been sent. I'd be surprised if we see him again before our magnificent victory over the Storm in the grand final. Steve.
Hope's free.
Trent Robertson letting loose in his press conference. I reckon Uncle Nick said, go your harder, son, I'll cover the 10K.
It turns out it was 40.
It's 40 now, but yeah.
Look, I reckon that'd be a standing offer with Uncle Nick.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think you could ever get in there and, stand up for the club and not have it covered.
Yeah, and 40 grand, I mean, fuck, that's like, you'd find that down the back of his couch anyway.
Tim said, in spite of the drama and refereeing, if you look at the actual football, quite clearly Roosters were out-muscled from the get-go. They were bashed, bruised, run over, and most importantly, had very little go forward. Compounding this with the early mistakes and penalties that allowed a tough team in perfect scoring opportunity. Now, we won't go through all of these at the moment, but he does add, and this is fantastic, I encourage everybody to jump into the Facebook group, find this game thread, and have a look for Tim's post where he runs through something that he says he saw on Reddit. He's got the Roosters 17 of injured players, and that team would probably do better than the Tigers, even while they're injured. So, it's fucking phenomenal. Get on there.
Fucking appalling.
Michael said, Perinara showing he never knew the rules and any bum could be hired as a ref and do a better job in the bunker. And lastly on that one, Anthony, long-time listener, said, always happy to smash the chooks both on the board and on the ground. There you go, you fucking eye socket shattering celebrant.
Well, Latrell followed up with that spike too, where he just spiked the ball next to Walker's head or something after scoring a try, didn't he? Yeah. See, that's the shit that didn't sit well with me after what had gone on. Is that it for the socials?
That's it.
Righto, the Cowboys 38 defeated the Dragons 26. The Cowboys 38 came through tries to Reece Robson, a double to Felt. Hampton, Dearden, Lukey and Tabuai Fido with tries. Valentine Holmes, 5 conversions. The Dragons side had tries through Zach Lomax, a double to Rawalawa. Sullivan and Sloan also with tries. Lomax 3 conversions. This was a strange fucking game. I can't remember.
Yeah.
What was this Saturday? What was I fucking doing on Saturday night? I must have been out somewhere, but I remember watching the Dragons were just doing it easily.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I had to drive somewhere to do something quickly, and then I came back, put it back on again. I was like, what the fuck happened here?
What has gone on here?
What the fuck? Because like the Dragons were doing it easily, and it was like it was the future. You got Lomax and Sullivan and Sloan and you're like, well, here we go. They finally got Corey Norman's unfortunately still there. One more week. But however, you're starting to see that at least some of these guys that they've pinned their hopes on for the future actually look like they could be something.
Yeah, that first half I think is a sign of good things to come for the Dragons. Unfortunately, it turned around certainly in the second half and Dearden played some of the best football he's played in his career. Certainly the best game he's had for the Cowboys, I feel. And Cowboys finished over the top of them, and yeah, it was a strange old game. I thought it was interesting to hear Todd Payton say that he's considering playing Valentine Holmes at centre more permanently, next season. And I don't think he'd be a bad centre, but he's played a lot of his career on the wing. Argue, that his success as a fullback is is debatable, but putting him in the centres is, at this stage of his career, is a huge gamble. Athletically, I think he's up to it, but there's a lot more to playing centre. It's probably the toughest position on the field to defend, to defend in, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. And you wouldn't say it's the fucking beginning of his career. If he's not at the tail end, he's getting there.
Yeah. You cut off very abruptly there. I'm not sure if it was the internet connection or just
sorry, no
sentence.
As I said, he's at this stage of his career. I think that's a big ask of him. But yeah,
I missed this game because both of these sides are absolutely terrible. So
you didn't miss it. You just avoided it.
Yeah, no, I avoided it. I did, however, see out. I was out doing some errands and ran into a mate who is a Dragons fan afterwards. And I said to him, "So, what happened?" And he was working. And he said, "Oh, yeah, I thought we were doing it easy. And I've just started giving people shit. And I hadn't seen the fucking second half. And so now everyone thinks I'm a fuckhead." So.
They already thought that anyway, you're a Dragons fan.
Stop it.
You did to this game what I try and do to Dragons fans. Fucking avoided it.
That's it. John, on the socials, said Corey Norman doing everything to make sure he has next year off. Every time he has the ball, the game slows down. Jordan said the Cowboys and winning when it doesn't matter. Name a more iconic duo. I'll wait. Still fucking great to break the streak, though. David said fucking finally can take a week off from the Mars bars. And Dev said Cons, conceding 4 tries in 15 minutes to have the game slip away from us. Equal our worst losing run at 7 straight games. Pros, young kids looked great in parts. Only one more game with Norman in the team. And fully vaxxed JDHD, good stuff out there educating the youth. So there was a point in the second half when Talatau, all 9 games of him, was sprinting to cover a defensive gap, and Tarek Sims, current club captain, was jogging. That's one of the problems with this international cunt circus of a club.
Support for today's episode comes from Manscaped. Father's Day is just around the corner, and you probably need a gift for a hairy dad. Make your dad proud this year and get him and yourself the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. You know what they say, like father, like son. Hook him up this Father's Day with an exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code TWiLNation at manscaped.com.
You remember, and I don't want to bring up anyone's PTSD from when they're a kid, but you know exactly the feeling when you were laying in your bed late at night.
This is ominous.
Dark.
It really is.
And your dad would get up, make his way from his bedroom, get himself something to eat in the kitchen, walking right past your room. And you know how you knew that would happen? Because even though your dad was nude, walking up that hallway, it sounded like he was sprinting in a pair of corduroy pants. That was his fucking Amazon jungle bush rubbing. Turn your dad into a genital ninja. I cannot profess how wonderful the Lawnmower 4.0 is. The last one was good. I am now completely hairless all of the time. I go to Alopecia Anonymous, laugh at fucking Will Chambers Mo, and no one suspects a fucking thing. It makes me look just like God hates me. It is that good.
I must admit, the first time I tried to use the 4.0, the multifunction on-off switch, which engages the travel lock, which is created for jet setters, not fucking idiots like myself who think this thing's fucked. I can't use it. It doesn't work.
Well, you know what, Glenn? Just you've never been stopped because something's buzzing in your suitcase at an airport.
And I was on the verge. I was going to send a nasty email to our friends at Manscaped. And I thought, you know what? Just going to have a little gaze at the instructions, which I didn't think I would need to read the instructions to operate a device that has one button on it. But it turns out I did, and I'm glad I did, because I managed to disengage the travel lock. And look, my nuts have never been smoother, if I'm honest. I love a good shave, and there's a fair bit of work. This thing's got its work cut out for it on my bits and pieces. But it does a tremendous job, and use it in the shower. It's waterproof. Just doesn't miss a beat. I love it. I think you need to stop imagining that your dad's got it covered, because he definitely doesn't. The only thing he does have covered is his ass and his balls with matted hair that would make Jaden Oakenbaugh proud. Make him proud this year and join the other 2 million men who trust Manscaped and the Lawnmower 4.0. I use it. Your dad should use it. And his ass will be as smooth as mine.
Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code TWiLNation at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code TWiLNation, all in caps. And don't forget that you came from your dad's balls. So this year, show your original home some love with Manscaped.
Can you claim that on your tax? It's not owner occupied. It's technically an investment property.
So there's no like capital gains or anything. Right, the Sharkies 24 defeat the Broncos 16 at Suncorp Stadium. The Sharkies 24 came through tries to Katoa, Trindle, Ramian and Tracy. 3 of 4 conversions for Braden Trindle and a penalty goal. The Broncos double to Tessie New and Xavier Coates with the tries, and Herbie Farnworth 2 conversions.
What a debut for Brendan Piakura. 5 minutes in, sin bin. He definitely won't forget his debut. For the Broncos, I think Tessie New, over this last sort of 4 or 5 weeks where the Broncos have really shown, put in the effort and shown that, maybe they are going to get somewhere under Kevin Walters. I think Tessie New's been a real highlight. He's had another solid game here against the Sharks, and, some really scored a nice try, some good touches. In the end, I think the Sharks, Will Kennedy had another solid game. He's been their standout this year, I feel. And Matt Moylan probably turned back the clock a little bit, had a vintage running game, and those hamstrings, there's a little bit of life left in him yet. I think Sharks are going to have to, because he's going to be playing a fair bit of first grade next year if he can stay on the park. So I think Sharks played with a bit of desperation and had a bit more to play for than the Broncos, and that's ultimately what told in the end.
Yep, exactly. And they put themselves, they put themselves in a position where, they say, what do they say? Is if you're near enough that they're good enough. Big ask for them, fronting up against the Storm in the last round.
Of course,
in a game which is ultimately must win for them. Yeah, depending upon other results, but it's a tough one. But they're playing to the last round.
I will say Trindle is just now starting to get a few raps. That kid can play. I rate him.
Yeah, I don't know if he is like the full-time solution, or maybe more like a sub, but he's definitely getting better. I mean, he's had good touches every game he's played, but now he's just getting more sort of total game quality out of him.
I'm still not sure what his first pick position would be.
Yeah.
You watch him do, some touches he's definitely a half, and then other times you're like, he's a bit wider and he's got that powerful running. So, you probably wouldn't mind him as a ball playing sort of lock.
Yep.
And then, with his skill and his effort to come off the bench with tired forwards, he'd probably make a fantastic 14 as well. So, he might be the next incarnation of Tyrone Peachy, never really knowing where his fucking position is.
Wow.
Never settling anywhere.
Well,
I don't mean to insult the guy. I just...
maybe he'll do it successfully.
Maybe.
That's it. Is the modern game, where people are carrying backs on the bench all the time, Like, are we craving a super sub, like a genuine multi-position superstar? Is that the next opportunity for a player?
I think as the game is evolving, certainly with the six agains and stuff, and they mentioned in commentary the other night in that, if the game continues in this trajectory, the body shape of of players from 1 to 17 is going to get a lot more similar than what it is currently. These guys are going to have to be pure athletes to perform at that level for 80 minutes or for large minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then does that... it's because we've spoken about this before. Does that mean that the pendulum ever gets to swing fully that way, though? Because, say, as forward packs get more mobile and therefore smaller, do you then just get a Payne Haas come through who starts running through them and just brute strengthening them, and then all of a sudden, before the pendulum can get to that,
all the way, everyone's
an athlete.
We need more size to fucking handle that.
Yeah, that's it. So,
not to mention the administration's in place that change the fucking rules at the drop of a hat. So who knows what the requirement and optimal body shape is going to be next year.
I'll tell you the optimal body shape. Giant fucking chin. That's the optimal body shape. Anything else on that one?
Was it yesterday, though?
Seemed to cause some drop balls from what I saw. But sorry, go to socials.
Jai. So I fucking blame Robbo for this shit. If Perinara was still in the bunker, neither of those sin bins would have been given. Winston said, this is the cripple fight to end all cripple fights. Greg said, watching the Sharks play for 20 minutes with an extra man and still getting stripped for numbers on both sides of the field. Must be taking defensive lessons from Noffa. Fuck me sideways with a telegraph pole. Indeed. We'll give Toto the last word on this one. Long-suffering Broncos fan. Says, son, how many games did the Broncos win this year, Dad? Me. 6. Son. Huh. That's pretty good. This is my life now. He's getting pity compliments from his kid.
The Parramatta Eels 22 defeated the Melbourne Storm 10 at Suncorp Stadium. The Eels 22 came through a double to Blake Ferguson. Dunster and Lussick also with tries. Moses 2 conversions and a penalty goal. The Storm tries to Remus Smith and Lume. Nico Hines 1 conversion.
Was an above average performance from the Eels. And
honestly, for what the Eels can probably put on the field, and in terms of performance, this is about as close as to the 10 out of 10 that they get.
And they were aided and embedded by their opponents, though.
Absolutely. But I want to make sure that we do give credit. They played the game of their season, potentially their grand final in this game. They
wholeheartedly agree.
They weren't flawless, but they were about as good as that we've seen this squad play.
Yeah, and even though with some pretty crucial mistakes at pretty crucial times from important players like Moses, and he does have it in his game. The whole look up when he's got plenty of space around him, and he can, he's trying to run numbers on what he does, and ends up knocking on. But the thing with Parramatta, and I've said it all year, they're an above average group of players in total, and they all need to click in the same way on the same day. They don't have the Tommy Turbo that's going to pull them out of shit if they get into trouble.
They think they do. They call him King Gutho.
Well, I don't even think they do, because did you see the Instagram post where apparently he's made them all wear T-shirts with him on it?
Yeah,
that was the captain's run.
Jesus, that was so fucking poor though.
I hope that's not true. Hey, I really hope that's a G up.
Yeah,
because that.
If you had to say that you think it's a G up or it's definitely something he would do, I would be on the side of it's definitely something he would do.
Yeah, wow, it's absolutely terrible. The Storm looked rattled by the Eels, and they looked rattled because the Eels weren't were obviously not going to roll over.
Yeah.
And the Eels' mistakes and fuck-ups didn't seem to bother them. I think the Storm are used to teams going into their shell a bit.
And the thing in this one, the Eels just, frankly, they just fucking dominated them through the forwards as well.
Yeah, that's
in a way that the Storm haven't been, handled probably, in recent history.
They did 100%. Not fucking enjoy it one little bit.
They hated it, yeah.
And they didn't cope with it, and they didn't adapt.
They almost rely on being a self-fulfilling prophecy, as in they get in. Teams know they're coming up against the best, and a couple of tries in, you can tell that the confidence goes out of a lot of teams. Errors come in, and then the Storm go through. So, I think it was a good 80-minute performance from Parramatta as we've seen from them all year.
And I think his Nico Hines and Pappenhausen thing is far from resolved. And in fact, with Pappenhausen as the full-time fullback, I think it, in terms of their attack, I think it disjointed the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And that's a couple of weeks now. They haven't played. They probably haven't played. They haven't been themselves since the week after they played Manly. I think that's probably got 3 to 4 games in a row now where they've got away with the wins until this time.
Yeah. Which if you remember, that's almost how Penrith ended the season last year. Do you remember they had they were amazing until just after Origin?
Yeah.
And then they started a massive fucking downshift when they played a game against the Broncos that they would have lost against any other team. It was just, fortunately for them, it was 2020 Broncos. But with Pappy, what did you think? Do you remember the hit? There was a movement they had out to the right, and he was hit. He wasn't hit late, but he was sort of hit as he was passing.
Yeah, he sort of stayed down a little bit.
And
he copped some heavy fucking shots, and now I guess it's big, and because we're all mindful of it because he spent so much time on the sidelines with the concussion last time, earlier in the season, and then right through till just very recently. He took some shots in this game too.
Yeah. And I don't want to say at all that he's faking anything, but it was fucking scary to watch. Like, he sort of realised where he was hit, and it was in the back of his jaw.
Yeah.
And he's just sort of taken a second, grabbed at it, and then just sort of slumped to the ground.
Yeah. And
it didn't look like he was milking, but it looked like he was genuinely concerned about, fuck what's just happened.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what, though, just the sheer will to win that the Storm have, though. And you see when they made that bust with Nico Hines, and then he got clubbed, and he was down, and he would have stayed down till they stopped play to get looked at. But Pappy's just come into fucking dummy half and grabbed him by the collar and the back of his jersey, pulled him up to his feet to make him play the ball, and then he's just thrown his dead body on the ground again after the ball's come out. But not exactly the best in this concussion and HIA era of the game. It's not the best look, but I mean it did speak just to the desire to get the quick play the ball because they were down and they needed it, to come back.
Yeah, I think as good as this performance from Parramatta was, I think what really counts for them is what they do this coming week and next.
Yeah,
it's all well and good to put a performance together against, arguably the best team in the comp for, a couple of weeks out from the finals. But if it's a flash in the pan, then it means fuck all, But if it's genuinely Para turning the corner and putting themselves out there as a genuine threat.
Yeah, that's it. And it's hard to take an angle here to say that, it's a bad thing to beat the favourites.
Yeah.
No.
But the thing with Parramatta is, unless they back that performance up this week, and it's the second hardest game they're going to play. What a finish to the competition for them. But unless they back that up, they're almost doing themselves a disservice. As in, the momentum won't continue. If they were playing this week, the Sharks or the Knights or someone like that, or even the Roosters, an injury-ravaged Roosters, that's a genuine opportunity to really carry that momentum into the finals and to go on with it. But they need to be just as flawless this week as they were last week.
And the thing with the Storm is, I mean, this is like a kick in the ass for the Storm at the right time of the season to get a bit of a wake-up call too. I mean, if there was any thoughts of drifting into complacency within that squad at all, now they've had like they were thoroughly fucking handled in a game where they certainly weren't at their best, but there was what the Eels presented to them. There was nothing they could fucking do about it on the night.
Correct.
Like they were comprehensively beaten, and so in retrospect it could wind up being one of the the most timely wake up calls for them as well. If they're looking to get through and win a grand final again.
Sure, agreed.
Anything else you want to say on that?
No, hit the social.
Stephen said Brad Arthur with the ultimate long game plan sucked for a month before facing the Storm, then boom. Super Grover said, you all think this loss actually means stuff. In fact, thank you, Para, for the spark. Dumbass club thought it was a good idea to beat us. I would suggest it does mean something because you posted that at, I reckon, about 3 a.m. And there's a new feature on Facebook where I can actually see digitally the fucking tears that dropped on your keyboard as you shame cried it, a la fucking Corey Horsburgh writing a sternly worded letter to people he doesn't like. You were fucking beaten by Parramatta. Shame.
Exactly.
Mitch, who is a member of the ever-expanding group of Mitchai, says, as a Sharks fan, I think I speak for all of us when I say, shit. Liam said, it was interesting. First time I've watched the Eels live. Sat behind the goalpost, and despite Gutho being captain, it appeared to be more Mitchell Moses who was the leader of the team. RCG was ball boy and looked in good condition. When is he back? Obviously, Moses is the leader of that team.
Yep.
Gutho walks around taking the big room in hotels and making people wear T-shirts with his face on it.
Kicking the players that have the ability to impregnate a female into smaller rooms.
Yeah. Calling people offensive names, and then dropping balls himself, throwing horrible dummy half passes. Claire said, always good to see the Storm beaten, but I still can't help but feel like that was Para's grand final. Indeed. On to the next one.
Yep. Mighty Manly Seagulls 36 defeated the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs 18, thus notching up the 100-plus points against Trent this season. Manly had a hat-trick to Tommy Turbo, a double to Jason Saab, and another try scored through Hamoli Olakawatu. Garrick, 5 conversions and a penalty goal. The Doggies, 18 tries to Dory, Ockenbaugh, and Jackson Topine. 3 conversions from 3 attempts for Kyle Flanagan. Beautiful day in the neighbourhood to watch a game of footy, and Manly decided to put on one of the most laziest and disinterested kind of performances of their season. And again, like the Storm, the right time of the season to do it, provided you get the 2 points, especially when you needed them. I mean, arguably, maybe we didn't need them, but I would personally prefer to be in the top 4 than not. The Doggies are... And I was talking to Glennie about this at the game. They're actually, if you want to have an opposed training session for a lead up into finals to work on some aspects of your game, having a team against you that's going to complete 100% of their sets pretty much is not the worst thing. I mean, they're kind of fired up a little bit, led by the absolute loose unit, Hetherington, who found himself on report. What was it? 5 minutes in, 5.5 minutes into the game, found himself on report. Yeah, it was. So he was. It was a hot day out there in the sun, and he came out fucking red hot, and proceeded to I wasn't until afterwards I was looking on social media and people were sort of saying through the game, like in the second half, like fucking get Tommy Turbo off the field because Hetherington's fucking he looks like he set the blow from the stands. I mean, that wasn't as readily apparent to us, but
whenever there was fuckery, though, he wasn't far away from it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple of incidents in this game, like with Josh Aloye kicking out, trying to get up to, for a quick play of the ball while Hetherington was holding him down, and I think it was Jackson that was down around his legs. Probably not worth a sin bin. I mean, 'cause, If you had to be fucking, unless he's Daredevil and knew exactly, and could like sonar to pick up exactly where fucking Jackson was. He wasn't aiming at him. He was just fucking doing the thing that players do every time, bucking like a Bronco, trying to get up for a quick play the ball.
I reckon on replay, and, if you watch that, you can see like he's on his back. He looks up and he can see exactly.
Yeah, he had a fucking cross body press from fucking Hetherington on front of him. No, he couldn't see over there. I mean, Hetherington was lying on top of his upper body. All he was doing was just trying to do the thing to, like lever him off to get up and play the ball.
Yeah, at the risk of turning this into this week in how the eye works, he fucking knew where he was. 100%.
Yeah, well, he's not Daredevil. I like him as a player, but I mean, I don't think he has that fucking blind man sonar. And despite the fact of being down to 12 men for 10 minutes, the Doggies couldn't fucking do a thing about it. And despite the fact that Manly bombed at least 4 tries, maybe 5 tries, I mean, Saab should have had 4. Ruben bombed 1. Although, the ball was kicked from his hands, which I believe is against the rules of the game. But, Trent didn't appear to see that one. Still rolled through. Very easy win. And most importantly, no suspensions, no injuries, which is really all you want out of these games towards the end. Just when you're going on to bigger and better things. The big story that came out of this was that Trent. Well, we had 2 Trents in 2 press conferences this weekend, and like Trent Robinson made a very passionate request or plea for referees and particularly bunker referees to just fucking do better, because that's what their job is. They're there for a reason, and execute on that reason, or just fucking don't. Don't just get rid of it. Whereas the other Trent got into press conference and proceeded to fucking cry about a try that was scored as if it cost them the fucking game, and it's really a stark difference in the quality coaches, where there is no fucking accountability whatsoever in the Doggies for mistakes they make or how they play, when the first 3/4 of every press conference is Trent blaming the referees for something against his poor fucking side that cost them the game when they're flogged.
But what are you expecting to say? We don't have the talent.
Well, yeah,
because that's what it is. They don't have the cattle.
Yeah, he has to. What he has to do is basically what he says in the last 25% of his presses. That should be the theme of his whole thing. You can talk up the bravery of the performance of the side, which it was. I mean, they had some players out. I mean, they had some ructions. With Lachlan Lewis stealing fucking sound bars, and Elliot fucking trying to pork Millie Boyle in the bathroom at the fucking pub or whatever. Yeah, so he's look, we've had it's been a fucked week off field. We've had some players that let us down. The boys are brave the way they marked up in defence. I mean, there were some passages there where their goal line defence was the best that it's been in probably his entire tenure as a coach. But they were let down also in times where like a simple inside ball to Tommy Turbo as well as it's gone straight through almost untouched.
Yeah, the Mark Nichols tries were the softest of the round up until Tommy's.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, look,
I'm not sure Trent's press conference needs to be the focus of this game. I'm throwing a candle out there for our wonderful Bulldogs listeners.
Who's our wonderful Bulldogs listeners?
That game.
You said plural, too. There's more than one. Aussie Jags a good bloke. Who else? I can't for the life of me can't think of any other Bulldogs fans.
That game should give you enough to go on, and I'm not saying it was perfect by any means, but the first third of that game should give you some hope for next year with the cattle you're adding. That free for all, that attack can come from anywhere. Players were kicking out of the centres or second row position. It was a very, very good way to start against Manly. Canterbury Bankstown are in no way even a 60-minute team at the moment. But for them to score in the manner that they did, creating for themselves, there's your positives to take out of it, Doggies fans. Anything else you want to say on that one?
I think Meaney for the Bulldogs is...
Sorry, go ahead, Glennie. Sorry, Glenn, have you say, mate?
I think Meaney for the Bulldogs, for me, and watching the game live, he's a guy that genuinely, I think he's got a higher level of skill than most of his teammates, but he's also backs it up with effort, and he genuinely wants to be involved and wants to try and influence the result. And I think next season with the cattle that are coming into the side, I think he's going to be the guy to be most fucked by the new recruits.
Yeah, as he watches them from reserve.
Oh, he's going to the Storm. Sorry, I wasn't aware of that.
He's going to be watching them on TV saying, "Thank fuck I got out of there. Look at me.
Yeah.
I got a chance to win the comp."
Yeah, fair call. Well, you can definitely see, and that's like I must admit, I don't pay a lot of fucking attention to the Bulldogs, as you can tell. But watching that game live, that guy, he brings effort, and you can see, obviously Bellamy, he's obviously identified they can do something with him. Fuck, I really need to keep up with the Bulldogs. I paid more attention to who they'd signed rather than who they'd fucked off.
Terry in the Facebook group said, typical coward play from Manly, waiting until the player's back his turn before attacking him after a deliberate kick to the head. Michael says, how does the bunker award a turbo try, then sin bin Alloy? Robbo was right, get rid of the bunker, it's a joke. Daniel said, good luck in the finals, you maroon flogs. No hairpull penalties to save you there. Actually, I thought that one was very fucking ordinary.
Why the fuck would you even give a penalty for that, to be honest?
Yeah.
Especially when the hair, it lies exactly and flush with the fucking jersey.
Yeah.
By design of the hairstyle.
Yeah. I mean, perhaps he should have, he sort of went on with it a little bit, and maybe that was his problem. Maybe he should have, gone, oh, fuck, I've got a handful of hair, release. Whereas he sort of, there was, that shithousery level, I've got the hair, now I'm going to fucking, see if I can take home a fucking dready for my collection.
Again, that one I saw on the slow-mo, it was almost instant. If you think of how quickly you could realise something and then try and let go, he wasn't pulling his arm back, yanking the hair, the hand was gone. So, yeah, not the biggest issue to face the code, but
no, exactly. I mean, it may be the only time in the history of the game that, unless something happens to fucking Ockenbaugh, because he's got a much larger fucking target.
Fucking cabbage patch doll.
Yeah, my dog was calling him Rapunzel. He's big matted.
Touch Ockenbaugh's hair, I reckon you get hepatitis.
Yeah, it's
how the fuck do you keep that clean? It's disgusting.
His hair is basically it's like the fucking representation or homage to the fucking discography of Counting Crows and their fan base collectively.
Now, before anyone gets all up in arms and says that, dreadlocks are a cultural hairstyle and they're not unclean, he doesn't have dreadlocks. He has dreadlock.
Yeah, I've heard of dreadlocks, but shitlocks.
And I'm also not making a comment on dreadlocks themselves, because I know many wondrous people that have had dreadlocks who are impeccably clean individuals.
In fact, someone who guest hosted the show on one, maybe two occasions, used to rock dreadlocks. My fucking mate, Canadian Doug, back in the early days, within the first 10 or 15 episodes, while Glenn was over on Kokoda, he when I met him, he was I met him through, he answered a want ad for a bass player for band, and that's how I met him in the sort of mid to late 90s, and he at the time was big into Korn, and so he was like,
I was going to say it was going to be either Jonathan Davies, or the fucking sellout from Rage Against the Machine.
No, because he's dreadlock. He had long blonde dreadlocks down to his ass almost. So fucking huge.
The guy from Friends of Rom doesn't get a run, Jay.
Yeah, okay. Fuck that guy. Fuck the guy. And also, and the last thing I have to say about this game is, Doggies fans, look up the NRL rulebook and see what constitutes a knock on before you gob off, you dumb fucking ignorant cunts.
Wow.
I just want to say because it has to fucking hit the opposition player or the ground to be a knock on. Players can fucking literally lie on their back and roll the ball from one hand to the other and then put it down, and it's not a knock on. Educate yourself, bitches.
Do your research.
Yeah, but the way it's been adjudicated this year, there have been many tries disallowed with the exact phrase, has lost control and not re-gripped.
Yeah, but he did. He re-gripped it between his hand and his body and just went bonk.
No. Again, re-gripped. So with the hand,
Yeah.
re-gripped.
No, only two hands. Yeah, one hand. He had it tucked under one arm. So,
look, you know,
sorry,
I'm
fans.
not going to convince, you know, dreadlocked fuckheads to take the vaccine, and I feel like I'm having the same conversation here. And finally,
you're refusing to fucking take the truth vaccine, you fucking truck driving cunt.
Now you're besmirching the wonderful people that keep our country connected during times of pandemic when air freight is unavailable.
No, not all of them. Just the ones who are striking on the front of taking vaccinations. The ones who are actually striking for Fox, who are after a new collective bargaining agreement. Go hard, boys. Get your entitlements, and I hope you get every fucking cent.
That's it.
The ones who are fucking holding up traffic for fucking not taking the vaccine, though, harden up, you weak cunts. DM me for my address. I'll fucking have yous.
That's it. Do your fucking part for the nation.
Yeah.
If you cunts have the vaccine and you're out in the outback, it increases 5G coverage for everybody. Hurry
exactly.
the fuck up. On to the
Telstra might even kick you a little bonus for upping their network coverage from 99.4 to 100. Finally, the final game. Beautiful, sunny Morton Daly Stadium at Redcliffe. The Panthers 30 defeat the Tigers 16. Panthers 30 tries to Moses Leota, Tavita Pangai Jr., Luai, Kikau, and To'o. Cleary 5 conversions. Tigers 16 tries to Stefano, Simkin, and Ken Malmalo with Luke Brooks 2 conversions. Who wants to go first, or shall I go first as the neutral party? I don't mind either way, boys. How do you want to play it?
Oh, I'm a gentleman.
Go for it,
Go, Jay.
Go, Glennie.
Oh, look, from a Tigers perspective, certainly wasn't ashamed of the effort or the result, for that matter. I will admit, I went there expecting, and I was fucking had it fed to me by my son in the entire trip down. I may as well have been going to a funeral, and that we were going to have possibly 60 to 70 points scored against us. It's pretty obvious there's a class disparity between these two clubs, which is fairly obvious.
Are you suggesting that it was obvious that one of them trains in demountables?
Well, it is obvious now.
Mate, you got to get to the second half.
The soon-to-be award-winning fucking.
You've got to get to that second half. You've got to get to the second half of your statement, Glenn. There's a class disparity, but there was no such disparity in heart. The little tig pies that could, they found their, well, they might not have found their why, but they might not have found their why, but they found that
they found their why not, Nathan. They found their why not. But look, I can look at that performance as a Tigers fan and thank the good Lord Tommy Raudonikis that Dylan Edwards is not on our fucking team, because that cunt is possibly the biggest liability and the greatest risk to the Panthers' premiership credentials there is ever going to be. My humble opinion. It was
interesting seeing like Dylan Edwards was so shaky in the game that it became blatantly apparent that anytime there was going to be a kick coming to him, Crichton would do his best to get there before he could get there and try and take it off him. Sometimes only being like 2 meters in front of him at the time when the ball
save me critter, save me critter. Look, I will say it makes you wonder. Given that we've probably had half a dozen games this season that you would class as big games or milestone games or, our season on the line, and on 0 out of 6 of those occasions did we put in that type of effort in the game, certainly defensively. That's a head-scratcher for me because we'd only need 2 or 3 of those games to put that effort in and
2 more and you'll be playing for finals this weekend.
Exactly right. So, Noffa, again, watching it live, still watching it live, and To'o is quick. You know that the ball's going to come his way. You know that he fucking has the ability to break a tackle anyway, so if you're not in front of him with your shoulder...
You're watching the evidence on the field that To'o lives his life 2 meters from the sideline waiting for the pass. Noffa lives his life 15 meters inside. So you're watching Penrith get across sort of 40, 30 meters out from the try line, and you're like, Noffa
He genuinely, the ball goes to Toto, and I will shit you not, Noffa genuinely looks shocked. Oh, fuck, he's got the ball again.
But there's there's a but though, Glennie. On this day, there was about 5 try-scoring opportunities where we were absolutely certain that the Panthers were going to score, and somehow,
literally, how many times did I say, how has he not scored? How has he not scored there?
It was unbelievable cover defence. I mean, of course, he didn't have to do cover defence. He could have just numbered up and gone straight on.
We could have just settled at defence. He could have just been defence. But in the end, it was cover defence. It didn't have to be, but it was.
Yeah.
The Tigers have gone Hollywood. The standard just stopped the try plays and good enough for them anymore. They need the highlight reel. Everyone. Now, in contrast, I'm glad Glenn wasn't ashamed of the effort. On behalf of Glenn, I was ashamed of the Tigers' effort because they're an absolute fucking dumpster fire of an organisation and deserve all of the misery they get. It's cute that they played their grand final against us. It makes me think of that. I don't know if you've seen it, Glenn, the meme from the TV show Mad Men, where there's some snippy little kid trying to give the main character, Don Draper, a bit of fucking humbling and says, your life's sad. You put on all this chutzpah outside, but I actually feel bad for you.
Mate, I don't know what Mad Men is, so your fucking analogy is completely lost on me. Much as the point of having Dylan Edwards.
The retort of the character.
No, because I don't care.
So he finishes and says, I don't think about you at all. and that's exactly how this game was. All week, Tigers fans thought of nothing but the Panthers, whereas the Panthers actually don't care about the Tigers at all. They're a blip on the radar. Our CEO came out and said it, and said the only certainty in rugby league is that Penrith would win. They went out and did that.
Cleary with some incredibly poor touches.
Yeah, he was a little bit off.
Worst game I've ever seen him play.
And you got to remember he's 3 games in from a potentially very serious injury, and was getting himself back into form in a couple of different ways. Obviously fitness, but also in touch. And I don't think you can underestimate the difference that playing at a ground like Redcliffe has. When you're used to playing your entire fucking season pretty much at Suncorp, where breeze isn't a factor because of the way that Suncorp's constructed.
Yeah,
you don't get things like those howling fucking gales that you got that affect the ball like it does.
It proper fucked the Tigers a few times as well with his kicks, but also Jock Madden, a couple of the spiral bombs he put up. And as we spoke before, there was that certain patch of about 15 metre radius where they were putting the ball, and with the sun going down and the way the wind was coming through, it was fucking hard to handle.
Yeah, that's it. And fucking that's the thing with the game. Both teams play on the same field. Mm-hmm. It's not like one of them gets to play half at Suncorp, but use whatever you've got to your advantage. I was happy to see Pangai's efforts.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you what you thought of him.
What I need from him is nothing but effort and no decision making. I need him to put those plays in. You see him like when a kick goes in and the 2 backs that you expect to go up for the ball go up for it, and there's a ricochet, and all of a sudden it lands in the forward's hand. And you only score the try because the forward's in there. Has no right to be. He's not going to fucking out-jump anyone for this ball. Yeah. I need to see Pangai doing that shit. I need to see him taking the hard carries, and those short-range barge overs are exactly what he's good at. I think the benefit of him also is he's raising the bar for people like Kickow. Kickow's always been, let's keep it a buck here. He's a flat-track bully in terms of his entire fucking game has been made around him running over small number 7s. And for him to see...
He was damaging yesterday, though.
Exactly. And I think Pangai coming into the side has taken him up a gear as well. Dylan Edwards is an unfortunate reality of the salary cap. You know, there's a team of representative players in so many different positions, not only state of origin but also internationals. You can't have everything. You know, Penrith would be undefeated for 5 seasons in a row if Dylan Edwards just went out at the start of every game and just punched some cunt in the face and got himself sent off every game. We would be better with a man down and no Dylan Edwards all game.
Wow, I've never heard you say a negative word about Dylan Edwards.
Frank discussion right now.
Previously.
I'm enjoying it.
What I will say is that you can tell if you keep kicking to him, he's got 1 or 2 of those in his game.
Yep.
And Glenn was calling them before they happened, and they're just like they were just right on cue. It was happening.
And the one that he dropped,
the bad one, yeah.
I would back most fullbacks to that was fucking that was bullshit.
But and like with the injuries the Tigers had in this game, I mean, like if they had Dewey in the side, I think if they had Laurie to basically just give them something. Just something more in attack. They defended pretty well, but that's all they had, and they had no attack to put much pressure on Panthers at any real stage of the game. But if they, in the conditions as they were, if they had Dewey throwing up the kick, I mean, one of the things that he has going for him is that he can throw up the spiral bomb that's difficult to handle for fullbacks. Yeah. If they had him in the side and maybe Laurie just to give them just an option when they were attacking. I mean, the game would have been a lot closer the way that the Tigers actually competed.
Yeah, that's it.
They hung with them pretty well, I thought.
And it's like rain. You know, look at when Parramatta beat Melbourne earlier in the season. Rain's the great fucking equaliser. And a ground with no coverage on 3 sides, barely any on the 4th, and a howling fucking ocean breeze does a pretty good job of fucking, you know, Dylan Edwards wakes up in cold sweats thinking about those games.
The thing is that Penrith is that good, and I think that they have few to no weaknesses in large part, right? That is their biggest glaring weakness, and I feel like guys, you know, coaches like Bellamy, Bennett, and players like Munster, Reynolds will see that crack and do everything they can to try and leverage that into their professional advantage.
For all the Storm's strong points, I don't think they have that in their repertoire. I think the only thing they have over Edwards there is volume. I don't think they have that Dewey-esque or Cleary-esque degree of difficulty. So I think as a matchup,
Reynolds, though,
the Storm are
if they play
for
South.
Us. Again, Reynolds has precision and accuracy. I'm not sure he has that added degree of difficulty.
I disagree with Reynolds. What about Cherry Evans?
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not just the difficulty in taking the kick; it's really putting up the kicks that are high enough that allow the chasers to come down and give Dylan Edwards some, you know, a rumbling, you know, so if you hear the ground rumbling and you know, and feel the
it's not just the high kicks though. It's
he'll drop them with no pressure.
It's Dylan Edwards under pressure. That's the thing. That's
what I'm saying. He will drop them with no one around. The amount of spills he's had, where it's him and a fucking sound of sweet nothing.
Yeah, and he'll drop a cold.
Yeah, but you know, this is the other thing. I'm a little disappointed in the points they let in, just by the fact that Dylan being a little bit of liability under the high ball hasn't been that much to worry about, because they were the team for a bulk part of the season that, well, yeah, fine, take 3 sets at us, fucking camp on our try line. We will turn you away and turn you away and turn you away and not break a sweat doing it. And then we'll just do the same thing to you and see how you like it. You know? And that hasn't been there for a little while. So I really want to see a better defensive effort from them next week.
Fair.
Anything else to say?
No, I'm done.
I was too busy slagging Dill. I haven't loaded. Timmy McIntyre said the Origin winger is exposing the self-entitled Origin winger. Simon said Noffa saving 2 tries on his wing, unheard of. Mitch said, is Redcliffe the new Bermuda Triangle? Some weird shit happening today in both games. When has Noffa learned how to tackle? Yeah. Liam said, I feel like Dylan Edwards would be known as a handbrake in the attack in a lesser side. Half chances seem to die with him. Legit interested in my thoughts on this. I think you have them. I think the other thing that helps him keep his spot is that Penrith's attack doesn't rely on that, fullback sweeping around, throwing the last pass.
But I feel like that is the one good part of his game as well. Maybe not throwing the last pass, but receiving the last pass on a play.
I think the best part of his game, and it's underutilised just because it's not Penrith's natural style, is that Tedesco style sniff around the middle, wait for an offload from Yo or Martin, because he's one of those weird ones, like not to Munster levels, but he's deceptively strong, and if he can get half through the line, he's a good shot to bust him open. And it's that thing that always fucking surprises me when I see him do it. I'm like, how'd you do that? I don't understand how the physics works of how you actually push that person off and kept your leg drive going long enough to get through the line there. I think that's his best addition to the attack, but it's not how Penrith seem to play. Depressed Tigers fan on Twitter said, were my eyes deceiving me, or did I see Noffa actually defending well today? No, you didn't.
Those in attendance were also shocked and stunned, sir.
What you saw was him making a couple of tackles, but in no way, shape or form changing the way he defends, which is, as always, poor. That's it.
On that note, that is full-time for episode 429. Thanks for listening, everyone. As always, you can interact with us in many, many ways. Go to thisweekinleague.com/links. And you'll get all the links to our social media communities and everything else. And, of course, our Patreon. If you'd like to support the show, make sure you join up as a patron at patreon.com/TWiL Nation. Drop us through a rating review on Apple Podcasts. Just tell a friend, all of which is awesome. That's pretty much all we've got time for this episode. Fuck me, we went. This was a long episode.
It was.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't tell how they're going to be. But
I'll tell you what, our Patreon members can look forward this week to a live show companion of the final episode of Tiger Town.
Yep.
We will be talking through the episode live. First time we've ever seen it.
Yep. Last time we did the game companion, I actually watched it at 7:30, but then we recorded and then we sort of did the thing, a couple of days later. Being that we know now that it's a series finale, yeah, I saved it, and we're fresh. We'll be dropping that one on you guys very shortly. In addition to everything else, so anything else you want to add before we put the pin in this one, fellas?
No, I'm keen to get onto Tiger Town.
Me too. Me
fucking
too.
Liar.
Will it be as enjoyable as the series finale of Dexter? That is the question. Or will they leave us just with a fucking cut to black, and we won't know whether Magic gets fucking shot or not? All right.
Don't stop.
I was hoping you'd start. I was hoping you'd go on a journey. Excellent.
Look, given the Tigers played the Panthers, I was going to suggest the theme song for this episode be the classic song, "Can I Put My Balls in Your Jaw?" which is what I did to Glenn on the weekend.
Did you really? I don't remember it. You must have used the same chloroform you used on all your fucking partners. It's good shit.
Right, boys. I'll talk to you on Wednesday.
See ya.
Later.